And our Enterprise Watch, this very, very interesting segment. Our perceptive business journalist Nelsiwe Ndlangamandla spoke to Principal Secretary from the Ministry of Agriculture, Sydney Simelane, on the permit for MASTA 900 that will only be offered at the 17 rural development areas around the country. This was said, of course, by the Principal Secretary in the Ministry of Agriculture, Sydney Simelane, when giving an update on the regulation of MASTA 900, which is already in motion.
Welcome to the show, Piers. The last time we spoke, you said you were going to a meeting where you were going to discuss the logistics of the regulation of MASTA 900. What was the decision of that meeting?
Thank you for the opportunity for us to be able to give you an update on what we are doing with reference to the MASTA 900. Basically, there are two issues that we are trying to address. The first one is that it should not be easily accessible. So that means we should make sure that the outlets where it is available, there are some controls that we are doing. So what we've agreed upon and what we have implemented already is that if you want to buy the MASTA 900, you must go and ask for a permit from the rural development areas, the RDAs. There's 17 of them throughout the country. We are aware that it could be an inconvenience to the farmers because some communities are far from the RDAs. But this is what we really have to do just to protect some people who may want to abuse the chemical. The other point that we want or we are working on is, of course, to try and change the way MASTA 900 looks and the way it smells. We want to make sure that it has some kind of a pungent smell that will be a deterrent to people who may want to abuse it. If you remember, the Weevil tablet had a very, very terrible smell, and it was very sharp. You could smell it from a distance. We want to do something similar to that. Although our plan is that when it comes back, it is no longer as poisonous as it was, because we want to make sure that if somebody for some reason decides to ingest it or swallow it, then it should hopefully not be in a position to kill them. So we are trying to work on that. We know it is going to be a very difficult process because the reason we introduced the MASTA 900 in the first place, it was because we were trying to get rid of the fall armyworm, which was devastating maize fields in the country. So it was basically our last resort, and it worked very well when we got it. So now, because we have to change it and get it into a different form, which will be some kind of deterrent from people using it to commit suicide, that means spending more time in the laboratories and engaging the manufacturers of these chemicals just to make sure that we are working hand in hand.
You are saying there are 17 RDAs, PS. According to the World Bank, we have 70% of our population depending on farming, and some of them use this chemical. We also have commercial farmers. How are the 17 RDAs going to service such a large population of farmers?
True. This is a dilemma for us. We have to balance things. We have to make sure that the farmers have enough pesticides. We have to make sure that the farmers have effective pesticides. But at the same time, there has been a lot of complaints around the availability of the MASTA 900. Even Parliament has mentioned this a number of times, that we need to do something about it. So that is why I'm just saying we have a dilemma, because we have to meet the needs of both communities that we are dealing with here. At first, it will be a difficult arrangement, but we are hoping that as time goes on, its significance will actually go down, and people will hopefully not think about it in terms of committing suicide. The reason people are using it to commit suicide is because it was publicized and it became very, very popular. I think the less we talk about it and we look at alternatives, people will then forget about it, and we will stop it from being as effective as it is now. Of course, that creates a problem in the sense that we will need to find a substitute that will be able to kill the fall armyworm. So it's a challenge that we're really facing. But as a ministry, we're having discussions with the distributors, manufacturers, and the ministry. We want to come up with the best solution in this. And we're also engaging the Minister of Health, because these issues cannot necessarily be solved by the Minister of Agriculture alone. There has to be interactions between these various ministries that are responsible for social activities of people.
Mm-hmm. The benefits, PS, of regulating MASTA 900 far outweigh any other challenge that may be faced by farmers, because here you are protecting lives. But how will you balance ensuring that these farmers get assistance swiftly at the RDA so that the country will reach its goal of food security?
What we are looking for now is solutions to the alternative, because maybe stopping people or stopping the production of MASTA 900 definitely needs a substitute. So we need to work out on that. SNOW is also a very important stakeholder in our case. We really need to make sure that they have a say, they have an input in this. But the interests are definitely conflicting, I must say. The public has a feeling that this is a dangerous chemical we must get rid of, but the farmers, clearly, you will know they've struggled in the past trying to fight this fall armyworm, and when the solution comes in the form of MASTA 900, then the people or the citizens of the country, some of the citizens insist that this is not the right solution. So what we need to do now as the ministry is to provide a solution that will satisfy the needs of the farmers as well as the public. That is our biggest responsibility at the moment.
Most of the time, PS, government departments complain of being understaffed. How will you monitor that the regulation is being implemented as directed by the ministry?
There's a number of ways in which we can monitor this. The ministry itself has extension officers in these RDAs. So the RDAs know exactly where these outlets are. So they will do regular visits to make sure that this is being implemented the way we want it. At the same time, we also have our parastatals such as NMC, National Maize Corporation. These distributors have other contracts with NMC to supply these special chemicals that they want to use, especially the pesticides, as well as, for instance, for the input subsidy program. It is the same suppliers that will be providing NMC with these inputs. So there will also be a way of checking if the suppliers are complying with our requirements, that everybody wants to come and buy MASTA 900 must have a permit from the RDAs. Remember, these are businesses, so it is very likely that they will want to maximize their profits. And if they realize that people want the MASTA 900 and they are always being referred to the RDAs, possibly what you are saying is likely to happen. However, every country has its own laws and regulations. If people don't want to follow the laws of the country, then the law should take its course. Although, honestly speaking, we are hoping that we won't be able to get to that stage, because it's not necessary. What we would prefer is that they make sure that everybody has a permit, and once that person has a permit, then they can provide this pesticide to that individual or a company, if I may say. But it's a big challenge. It's not a simple solution. People will find ways of getting this. Some ways may be illegal, but what we want to say is that we want to use the law effectively and as much as we can so that everybody who breaks the law will face the consequences.
It's been a pleasure having you, PS. We hope that this move by the ministry will benefit both Maswati as well as the farmers.
So much more to uncover as we return from the ad break and looking at the market indices today with Sanela Sibia. Don't go anywhere.